Recently, Chuck and I have been talking about the Louisiana Hayride, and today we're going to take a little step back and we're going to be looking at music talks, but we're going to be talking about what you might want as a grateful grand yourself as we age and we get, let's say, beyond 65 on up into our 90s. Life is a little different. And some of us, like my husband and I, we're starting up a YouTube channel. And so I'd like to have been entrepreneurs and had our own businesses. We understand what it takes to make a business successful. It's longevity and it takes trust, the trust of your customer, your consumer, your audience. And today I hope that Charles and I can gain your trust and your hang with us. And thank you so kindly for liking, sharing, and subscribing to our channel as we're putting out more and more content concerning the music business and the music world, particularly of the classics during the country music days of the Grand Ole Opry and the startups there in Louisiana, where the Louisiana Hayride. We have many artists that actually got their beginnings, their startup right there on the Hayride. My husband was among them. He had his own independent group. He was Chuck Smith and Chuck Smith Band. He went by other names through the years with different performances and different bands that he organized. He's also been a part with developing music studios, sound equipment, and everything has changed in that industry. And if you're in listening today and you've been there, but done that, and you know how when digital came upon the scene, it changed a lot of the ways that we would record and the way that we would capture our sound so that we could share it back out to our fans and our public. And so that's some of the things that we like to kind of look at. We're still learning ourselves, and we have pulled back from public appearances. We don't do those as much. We do uh, on occasions, but mostly what we're doing is we started up our YouTube channel as a way of continuing our creative journey. And so I have a few things I thought I would share with you today that some things we hope topics that we'll be covering in the coming days is we're going to be looking at the the YouTube channel as being key melodies in life. And as you listen to this list, if you'll excuse me just a moment, I'm going to be looking down and reading here from my little chart. I've got key melodies, the prelude, setting up your channel. That could be very great. Setting up our channel takes time. Setting up our channel means that we have to be organized somewhat. And um, in the nature of being in our retirement years, we have a life, a beautiful life that we want to go fishing and we want to go hunting or we want to be with our families, our grandchildren, great grandchildren, and just enjoy life and not be out on the somebody telling us what we can do and when we can do it. But we're going to be looking at the easy way or the gentle way to set up your channel in case you might need some help with that. Another key melody is composing your content. Like composers as we are, as songwriters, musicians, practicing, and we've learned to work at the craft of our music journey. So crafting digital products is a part of this YouTube world. So we're going to be looking at some of those things again, in a casual conversation way. How can we be more efficient? How can we take what we've got and run with it, uh, beginning our YouTube channel? So crafting digital products would be our second key melodies. The third key melodies of our list is practice makes perfect. Oh my goodness, how many times have you and I said that? Can you remember the times of putting your band together and oh wow, you schedule a Monday night or Tuesday or Wednesday and you get with the band and you practice and you go through time and time again. You go over a song so much by the time you stand before an audience, you understand and you know that song. So this is kind of what we're going to be looking at with our YouTube journey is that practice makes perfect and filming and presenting. Filming and presenting is a challenge for those of us who have just not been in the digital technical world, but we are now skilled enough with instruments and the understanding of what it takes to learn a new song or write a song that filming and presenting should not be too difficult for us if we just hang with it. So I encourage you, hang on, keep on step by step. Let's go over another one of our key melodies. Hitting the high notes. How many times have you started a song in the wrong chord and you have to everybody has to stop and you're working with that key arrangement on your guitar and getting this just sometimes you have to use the capo so you can get the right tone for your voice so you can sing lead and then that your harmonies will come in with a perfectness to get the beautiful sound that you're trying to capture. And with that, it means, you got to learn a little bit about the mathematical and the arrangement of your music and what chords go with the particular key that you decide that you're going to sing and promote your cover song or if it's your original song. So what we would look at over in the YouTube world is monetization. This is where we get to the point where to be monetized just means you've got to the point where maybe you might be able to make some income from all of your hard work in your music journey. And monetization can mean that you would get sponsors, or you could have an Amazon account where you have products that you're sponsoring and you're offering for the general public to click and then purchase and almost like a miracle that you end up getting a tip. It's like putting your tip jar out, monetization. We're going to learn how to put our tip jar out and let those who love our music would leave us a little tip. And those tips, when you multiply it times many people, could build up to a nice sizable income that you could at least pay your mortgage. A lot of us baby boomers, we are of the group that uh, much different from our parents, and that our parents most likely had, mine did, they had their homes paid for by the time they decided to enter into retirement. But that isn't always the case for those of us of today. Usually we have a mortgage, and that mortgage taken out of our Social Security can really be difficult. And the cost of just buying groceries is hard. So uh, all of us pretty much in our predicament or our situation, a little extra income goes a long way. Excuse me, I have to cough. I guess our next key part of our melody has to do with inspiration. Excuse me. The inspirational of encores. You know, when you walk out on the stage and you do that, whether it's your soloist or your duet or you have a band, 4 or 5 piece band, when your audience, when your fans love it so much that they just give you an encore. They clap so loud. Sometimes you hear the folks in the back say, one more time, or do it again, do it again. What a joy it is for us as musicians to get that little moment of feel of an encore. That's what I want to talk to you about our YouTube channel. That we look at it as musicians, that we are sometimes we don't like to think of ourselves as entertainers because we're doing something that we actually love and something we enjoy, and we do it because we do it. We worked hard to play the instrument. We've worked hard to learn the song, and it's a it is a journey of inspiration that brought us to the place, whatever level we were at with our music careers. But comes from that, we have success stories as artists standing on a stage, walking out. Sometimes it might not be a large stage. Sometimes it might be at a low key, even maybe a dark uh, surrounding, and so the band, oftentimes the faces can't even be seen. It can be so dark, but we play, we sing, we do what we do. But there's successes in it, and that's the inspirational of that encore that we want with our YouTube channel. We want to find that sweet spot that others also enjoy, and uh, maybe they can't give a tip or a or a coffee, buy you a coffee, but maybe they could give you a thumbs up or they could give you a comment that helps to encourage you so you can keep on keeping on. And again, that's part of our writing songs, of our melodies, is that it all comes together in a beautiful harmony. And I think the last thing that we're going to talk about, our key melodies, has to do with, as musicians, we also have a life oftentimes where we have to work a real job. We might have day jobs, and then in the evenings we take an assignment that we go and we play for a fundraising event. We might go and play for it. I'll give you an example. My husband and I, we lived in various places through the years, but we were in Branson, Missouri for a while, and um, what we were doing there is we were working a part of a RV campground. We were part of a team that sponsored the entertainment, and we were actually a part of that too to perform on stage. And so those particular performances were done just out of the goodness of our heart because we were doing a lot of times we were doing fundraising at these events, and we would invite other artists there in Branson to come and be a part of our show. And so it was a lot of booking. It was a lot of getting the uh, groups together. We had a wonderful pianist that was able to accompany most of the groups that came in, and then the groups would also uh, bring their own bands at time. But again, it was all everybody that came to our shows were giving of their time and raising funds for different various uh, needs that was in the community. Another example of being on stage and having to be conscientious about our other life was because we did work. We had full-time jobs at the time, and but we were performing and we were doing uh, hosting various music events. But on this particular place where I'll tell you, it was in Mountain View, Arkansas. Mountain View, Arkansas is famous if you're RV travelers, you're probably familiar with this, but the Ozark Mountains up in the Mountain View, Arkansas are absolutely beautiful, so uh, uh, gorgeous that the views are just spectacular. But up on one of the hills of the rocks in that area is the Ozark Folk Center. The Ozark Folk Center actually hired musicians such as my husband and I, and we were mostly local. We lived in the area, and musicians that lived in the area that applied and had to do a certain. There was some steps to do. You had to get a card. You had to get a music card, sort of like belonging to a music union, but, for that area. And once you were able to get your credentials, you were able to perform there at the Ozark Folk Center. And travelers came from all around that would attend these events. And the thing that we had to do was perform only music that was beyond age of copyright. So we were looking at performing music in the 40s, the 30s, and some that reached into that era of time and had the best time. Oh my goodness, we met musicians from all over that would come. Some were guests. They would bring in different pretty famous musicians. Some would be comedians and be on stage and bring up some have some funny moments for everyone. And I do have some. I was doing some journaling at the time, and I had been hired by one of the local newspaper uh, offices there to write a few interviews and write some articles. And so I did that. And um, I'd have to go back and see some articles to tell you the people, but I have a note in some of those previous newspaper writings that I did that highlighted the different artists on the stage. But what I want to tell you that what Charles and I had to do because we still had to have a day job in order to support ourselves and maintain some form of life at that time. Our children were all grown. We mentioned this in as a private. My husband and I married in the early '80s. He had three children, and I had three children. And so we were like the Brady Bunch, our six children at various ages. And thank the Lord, they're all grown now. And we've had the most beautiful successes with our children, and they're now grandchildren and great grandchildren. And so we have a beautiful, beautiful family life that we're just so honored. The Lord has blessed us in that area. But during that time in Branson and Mountain View, it was just the two of us. It was just Charles, Chuck, and I, and our children were all up grown and on their own. And but one of the things we had to do though, because sometimes it was needed for us to either help the children or had finances. We had to have enough financial income to support ourselves, but also our moms were getting older, our dads, stepdads, and so we had financial obligations that required us not just to have a hobby in music, but we had to have a way of earning income. And the performances that we did on the side, uh, the if it was we were to call them tips or there were compensations that did help us to be able to financially support our lifestyle and the families that we needed to. But the key melody that I wanted our melodies as part of our key emphasis of YouTube that I'm getting around to telling you is called balancing your financial score. It'd be like scoring a music score that it takes a while to get that just perfect so that you can perform it. Well, balancing our financial score is a part of our musical journey, and it requires a budget, and we have to look at the budget and our income so that we can balance, like we were looking for the balancing of our uh, the harmonies of our score arrangement in music, where we have to look at our budgets and our income and balance it out. Sometimes it balances and sometimes it doesn't, but we have to have a means of finding out how can we get through life and not be uh, totally devastated because the income's not there. So that leads me into tell you that if you're starting a YouTube channel, I have heard others to talk about this, that make sure you keep your day job or keep, if we who are baby boomers and in retirement, either already retired or soon to retire, have a certain income that maybe is going to come to us so that we can have this time of that we can set back away from the day to day task of 9 to 5, punching a clock, or whatever areas of career or professionalism that we might have been in. But when you start cutting back some of your hours and you've got already established a little extra income, sometimes that income may only be temporary. It might not be available to you long term. That's the perfect time to start a YouTube channel. YouTube channels will take a little time. You're not gonna get into the big successes of your boosting your financial status right in the beginning, unless you just happen to be a very phenomenal, already a phenomenal act on stage, and you have a huge contact fan base that you let know that your channel is up and active and get all of them over there to support your work. That be prepared that it does take a little time, but you're going to have some time if you're cutting back from your profession of day job. Take some time to learn about getting in front of a camera, talking to the camera. Be okay with that you're not in front of a live audience. Remember, the live audience is there, but when you're at the camera, you might not see them. But it's okay. You can just, in your thoughts, as you're presenting who you are, be yourself. If you do cover songs, that might be a good way for you to begin. Is learn the rules and follow certain rules to do cover songs, and you'll be fine. And I think you'll enjoy the process. You won't have to lay down your instrument. You don't have to lay down your guitar. You don't have to lay down your piano, your fiddle, your violin, your if you're a musician that loves all of the different versions of the horns, the trumpet, the all of the different various instruments we as musicians will uh, seem to lean towards is the one that we desire. And so I like to encourage you to keep on keeping on, take it one step at a time. And I've got a little thing I put over here. I'm pointing to it now, right there. That this is the little plaque that I've used for my husband, Chuck and I. It says "You and Me." When I was looking at that before beginning this little talk with you today, I was thinking about the first word is you. What is the channel? It's a YouTube channel. YouTube channel. So it's you, but look at the and me. The me, that's, that brings it down to the you is your audience. You, the people who will come and listen to you. You are the me. Take your me's and get out there and showcase it. You and me. You can't be me without you. You will be blessed by me. Me and you is such a wonderful thing. When I think of that of my husband, that I look at him all the time and we talk about that. We tease one another. After 40 plus years, you begin to just understand one another. So Chuck and I, we are truly you and me. And today I want to declare and tell you that you and me, we've got this. If you, as a musician, hey, we're all in the same boat. We've got certain levels of success. Some have reached high successes and some have reached the lower successes. It doesn't matter. If you've got the voice to sing, if you've got the ear to hear the harmonies and the ear to hear the music and to do your instrument to the levels of success that you have been compensated financially from your skill, then you have every right to open and start your music channel with joy and anticipate what is yet to be. Well, I'll close for now. Keep enjoying Are you still active? Are you working with your YouTube channel? I'm studying on it and have been for quite some time. My occupation is I'm a licensed realtor, a broker owner of my own company, and I've never been one to be out there big time.